Thank you for welcoming me here. It's an honor to speak here. And so I arrived in Romania in summer of last year, and it was really a shaken period of time. I think I've seen so many ordinances all the time and changes in law. It was really quite a challenge. I also think that the ordinance of today is at least giving some predictability and stability for 1 year, which is good. I also share the concern that the challenges ahead with the war, not so far from us, unfortunately, is may give concern for further changes. We have to see how it develops. For sure, already now we also have to prepare the future after this 1 year. This I can really underline what was said before. New ordinance is something, but we have to take into consideration that the real problem behind is scarcity of energy. So we have seen also what we have seen in the energy crisis beginning last summer was a worldwide fight for energy. So you have seen tankers with LNG going this way, and then they were redirected to someone who paid more, and so it's a worldwide fight for energy. And in addition, we have the European problem, which was stated by some already in the last autumn, which was driven by the fact that the Russians did not offer any additional volume of gas anymore. So already the whole development from last summer, starting last summer, was no additional offer to Europe. So we have, and the two problems are not solved yet. So yes, it is a good intention to increase the production of gas and electricity within Romania, and Romania has a good position to do so. Still, I think some steps are needed to continue in this direction, but it's a good thing. The other thing is that we also have to take care of reducing consumption. So, which means, for instance, energy efficiency, to install a new boiler, which uses 30% less, but gives you the same comfort, just to give one example. If someone is investing into such a boiler, he's also reducing the gas consumption in total, so he pays less, but also he increases the offer for the others, because gas is remaining, which he's not consuming for the others. So I think this is a very important topic which needs to be addressed already right now in order to use this year. But energy efficiency also is done, for instance, by distribution companies. When I was the first time in Romania when the privatization took place, roughly 20% of the electricity was consumed by the distribution grids. 20%. So either you could have built new power plants to produce these 20%, or you could have invested into the distribution grids, which we did since privatization. We have invested, E.ON has invested almost 2 billion euro since privatization into the gas grid and electricity grid, and we have reduced the technological consumption to a value below 10%. So these 10% we saved does not need to be produced anymore. Imagine if we would not have invested this money, then we would need far more power plants than are available today. So, when we are talking about the new ordinance, regarding distribution, I cannot really yet say what it means for our investment behavior, so to say, because as Mr. Schaffer said correctly previously, the price for electricity being at 1,300, the recognized price, the income, so to say, is at 450. So we are talking about hundreds of millions of lei for pre-financing this one. And I think something that is really missing in the whole discussion is cost of capital. Because if we are pre-financing this, we have to go to banks. We have been going to banks since months, asking a huge amount of money, and we have to pay interest for it. And somehow this is really still missing from the whole discussion. Everybody thinks capital is just for free. It's just to get a credit and to pay it back, but that's it. No, you have to pay interest, especially if you take billions of euros as a sector in Romania right now. So we have to pre-finance this difference for 1 year, huge amount. We have to pre-finance new connections. Now, for instance, especially in gas, it is a political debate about the speed of the connections we are doing. So we have speed up by factor 2. We are connecting 2 times more customers a week, new customers a week than we did last year. But this must be pre-financed, and the money is going to come back over 40 years on. We have to invest further into our grid in order to reduce further the technological consumption. Not to forget about all the other requirements of investing, like investing more in smart meters. So all the time new challenges are coming, new requirements are coming. What we have to do, and to invest all this in parallel, and on top comes now the CET and the CPT issue, is really a financial challenge. So on this one, the ordinance is fresh, very fresh. André is going to make announcements in the next 2 weeks, I think, about the tariffs as of 1st of April. I cannot say really what is the impact today, but I'm still very concerned about the expectation that we are just investing billions in everything, based on the promise that probably we are going to get it back. So this is not an appropriate approach, given the size of the topic. Let's now switch to supply, to the Furnizare. So also here still we have to really a little bit to assess more this new ordinance, and also I'm not so sure whether all these volumes, which are supposed to go to distributors, to households, to others, whether there is really the volume available right now, because already existing contracts are in place. So I'm not so sure whether this problem is solved very soon. So here a further assessment is needed based on this ordinance. Everybody, I think, has to calculate in the industry, the producers, the distributors, everyone, how and what exactly it means. But we have always said that the help or the support of the state should be focused to those who are really in need. Because right now it's a very big group of customers, and also customers are profiting from this state support, which could afford to pay a little bit a higher price. But this is not as a decision of us, it's a legal or political decision that must be taken, who gets support and how much support it is. But what I can only say is that it's probably going to be a big impact to the state budget. But we always offered somehow to be a part of the solution, and E.On implemented already the last debates in the invoices very quickly, and we are going to try to do our very best to apply all the changes now very soon too. On supply side, it's a huge cost of capital too, because in addition to the situation we already have, in addition to the fact that roughly 20% of the cost of this past scheme is only refunded yet. In addition to this, now comes a storage obligation. Already last year, we spent 100 million euro for storing gas. This year, the amount to be stored is going to be bigger. The price seems to be regulated for almost everything. Still, it's a huge amount of money that needs to be invested in addition to the other challenges for storing gas. All the other countries in Europe are discussing, and the European Union also are discussing a liquidity help to supply companies for this one, while it is not the case here. And the margin for gas, which is from the capped price of 31 lei, it's only 1.2 lei for the suppliers. From these 1.2 lei, we have to pre-finance everything. We have to pay capital costs, which are not taken into account again. So yes, there are really still deficiencies. I think we can survive with this ordinance, but I only can warn that now someone thinks everything is solved. This is just not the case, and therefore we really have now to further assess how the ordinance really works, and then we can come back with an estimation whether it is somehow good enough, something is not yet good enough because it's so fresh yet. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we need further assessments, but I would address you the same question, the previous question. How much did you get back from the state so far on compensation and plafonation?
It's not so different from what has been said previously. So always after receiving a payment, it's a little bit more, then it takes a while and it's going lower, but it's not far from the 20%. But there are two schemes of refund. The other one is for compensaria, so this one works. The other one is for plafonaria, and from this mechanism, we still have not received a single bug, not one. And this after almost 5 months of application, and still we are receiving further questions that need to be answered. So the ordinance is allowing this behavior. And I really hope that this is something that is overcome very soon, because it's not ending right now. It's not just repaired and then we have clarity. The real cash call still is coming, and therefore we need to speed up in this fund.